This is the moment of truth. Nope. So I woke up this morning and I thought, what am I doing and why is my apartment still not finished? And I don't mean that in a way that's self-critical or anything, but more so I was just thinking, why is it that I'm not able to get myself to complete all the things that I would normally be able to complete, or in the very least really, really want to? Like, take this entire bathroom, for example. None of it's done. And previously it would have been one of the first things I would do. This looks kind of cute. Very mermaidy. And there are some serious things that I just want to get done that would bring me so much more joy and actually free up some mental space. And it is currently my mission to change that. Oh, and by the way, thank you to whoever commented that they had swollen eyes and they were doing the gouache. But thank you to whoever did that, because I actually started every morning pressing this part of my eye and then kind of like placing it correctly, and it actually fixes the swollenness. I have no idea how, but like 3 days in a row has legitimately fixed my eye. So one of the main things that has actually really been on my mind has been the backsplash area, because while it looks like it's completed down here, my vision for it was for it to go all up here, which I just haven't done because I kind of just moved on to additional projects. So what's been happening, I think, is my filming schedule kind of gets in the way of me completing things that I would want to complete in my normal life. For example, if I pan this way, I've had the curtains for there for ages. I've had a light to go there for ages. I've had plans for artwork for ages, and why am I living like this? I don't know. A lot of comments on these panels being like, oh, that's a fire hazard. These are fire resistant. It even says so on the packaging and on the listing. Obviously, do anything at your own risk. I probably wouldn't put this around a fireplace. Just saying. So my goal is to just do things as I would do them if I was not filming. Except I'll be filming it. And my hope is that that helps me to be able to do things in an order that makes the most sense for me. So let me know what you think. I'm hoping to get this done as fast as I possibly can. Oh, there's a bunch of chunks in this. Speed is not the most important thing. I think if I'm trying to like rush through it just to get it done, just so I can like finish editing the video because there's steps after, it does take away some of the joy versus trying to go as fast as you can just because you can't wait to see the output. That's what I always used to do before filming. I think I kind of lost track of that a little bit, and that's okay. Rewatch the video of how I did this. It's kind of like if you watch like a hair tutorial or something and then you've done it once and then you go back and try and do it again, you're like, how did I do that? I use my own tutorials. I also can't wait to have my blog because I like the idea of having just like one spot that will house all the detailed information. There's like a lot more to go. There's a lot more. Oh, one of my piles already done from last time. Ha ha ha. I'm wondering if I should listen to a podcast to make this like even more enjoyable, or an audiobook, I guess. My sister was recommending this book by Brené Brown. Have you guys read any books by her?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I love you.
Love you. Like somebody. I just got my sister's access to the audiobook. Yes, sirree.
This is the author, Brené Brown.
So we got back from my mom's. We had family dinner, which was great. We had butter chicken with basmati rice, so good. We had like an Asian corn soup, which was my recipe, which I absolutely love. My mom made it though. It was just like a bunch of good food and good times. And then we got back and did a little bit of work, and now it's time to sleep. And I have been sleeping lately extremely late, like at like 4 a.m. and that's horrible. I am aware. So maybe I'll fix that today. At least that's the hope. You'll find out tomorrow.
It is a beautiful day outside today. And like, look over here as well. I love when the sun shines on the floor.
So I went to sleep yesterday at 3 a.m. and this tea is from 8 a.m. when Parth woke up and made some tea. I'm having raisin toast, cinnamon raisin toast, so good. My favorite. You want a bite?
No, I'm good because there's only one left.
There's an end. So if I remember correctly, the next step is to actually take like a cloth and like wipe away some of the spackling.
Currently just sitting in bed, had lunch, and now I'm just like procrastinating doing the next step because it was a hard step for me to do. Now I recall by myself. I think I had Parth's help, but he's in a meeting. And the next step is gonna be to like cut all the panels and stuff. So instead I sit here and procrastinate, but I probably shouldn't. I should probably get to it, shouldn't I?
I think so. I need help.
I only have 5 minutes.
This is unacceptable. So actually I asked Parth and he said he has a meeting for 30 minutes and then he can help me. So instead I'm going to have a little snack and I'm going to show you the best snack hack ever. Mini snack Pillsbury brownie and Oreo ice cream. You're going to get your scoop of ice cream ready.
We talked about.
I completely forgot this was in here. And it's funny because I was actually just thinking, oh, like, I really feel like another tea. And that makes sense because I didn't drink my original one fully. It was still like 3/4 full. But yeah, anyway, this is what this looks like. So flipping good. It's like the perfect thing where you can like have a little bite of brownie and a bite of ice cream at the same time. It's warm, it's gooey. It's my favorite thing. And it's also so simple. No baking required. So I'm gonna enjoy this and then I'll carry on.
It's funny because we.
I'm getting confused and like the geometry aspect of it is actually for real. Like that is the one skill I need to improve. And I think I might edit after this. A threshold of how much I can take.
So some of these steps take a little bit more thinking, and those are the steps that I tend to procrastinate a lot, but when I actually start, it can always be figured out. My fears of doing it wrong or wasting time, they're valid fears. But I notice that when I'm more focused on the process, those fears just happen to matter less.
Okay, so moment of truth. I have the next 2 panels. This is the problem with revisiting projects 5 months later. Remembering how to do it is a challenge. This is the first one, which I know fits because I tested it off camera because it was taking me exceptionally long. I sometimes cut command strips in half like this. Do that only at your own risk. This one, I mean, this one's the question. know. I just have to cut the top trim out. My mom had this set from the time I was a kid, stored in her apartment for some reason. Got it. Now I'm off to edit. My favorite ever view to wake up to. It's so like heartwarming and just pretty, and you see the trees and it's sunny once again. Yay. And also now I can tackle this.
And I also just wanted to show you what happens to my eye, because I mentioned at the beginning that I kind of fixed the swollen issue. So I just pressed it at the beginning, you could see it was swollen, and then I just like lift my eyelid, and after like a minute, it goes back to normal. Woohoo!
Okay, so yesterday I wanted to continue on with the backsplash. As I mentioned, would be like my priority, getting everything done that I want to get done. However, I'm now realizing exactly what happens to me, and it is that with the job that I have to do so many individual steps that completely take you away from what you're trying to focus on, but they just have to get done. Like you have to do thumbnails and titles and descriptions and edit videos and do short form content. And like every time that happens and I have to take a break from what I'm working on, especially with my ADHD, it's very hard to start back up. And so yesterday I spent like 3/4 of the day doing stuff that had to get done, wanting all the while to get back to this. And then it was like 4 and I was like, no, I can't start that now. So yeah, I'm at least paying attention to what my workflow is, and hopefully from there I'll be able to optimize it somehow. This is the moment of truth for the top panel, the hardest panel to cut yet. Almost.
Interest and creativity. Of course, I know professionally, the more entrenched and reactive we are, it's not an issue. I never thought I'd come across something, take pictures, collage, act, sing, it doesn't matter.
I've officially listened to an entire audiobook, which was 5.5 hours long, all while working. And also, my legs feel like jello right now. I don't know why, from being up here in these weird positions. Hot. Taking a little lunch break here. I just made a stir fry and rice. My favorite. Just a little peek into the bedroom right now. It is so nice and glowy in there, but unfortunately I need to be out here still working on this. And hello, Parth. He has made tea.
And biscuits.
And biscuits.
Why don't you dip your biscuits in the tea?
Because sometimes you've done that with my tea and then it leaves like cookie bits at the bottom and I don't like it. So that's that.
How are you like balancing up there right now? Your heels are like
We'll never know.
off.
I'm very tired.
Sometimes when I feel like this, it's actually a really good sign that I should take a break and not go back. But in this instance, I really wanted to see things come together, and I didn't want to keep waiting days and days. So I went back to it. I went up, I went down, I recut and recut again until it was practically finished. And then for the last little bit of steps, I had a little bit of help.
I've got a helper. At last. Silence, he says he needs to focus.
Complicated cut.
I've done 3 of them. Good morning. So, another day. This is the final day that I am hopefully going to be working on the backsplash. It's been taking longer than I expected. Yes, my tea is always getting re-microwaved. But yeah, so that whole book that my sister told me to read, I will link it down below. It's a really good book, and it actually includes a lot of concepts that I naturally have come to, but then obviously takes them a step further. And a lot of what she talks about is like having self-compassion and not looking at competition and not looking at comparison and stuff like that. And sometimes I'll get into this habit of like, if I'm going too slow, I really feel bad. And then I stop and think like, why am I feeling this bad? Because like attitude's everything, and there's something else going on if like you're just going a little bit slower, things are going wrong and it's really making you feel bad. So that's kind of been one of the main things that I've been actually like just really realizing and trying to apply at the same time in this video, and hopefully in life in general, you know what I mean? I don't know, that was a really abstract, rambly way of saying what I was thinking. Also, these are the cups that I made for everyone from my wedding. How cute. Bride tribe. And this is my sister's mug. So the final thing I have to do is actually add some spackling in all the little connecting points. It makes a huge difference. I wasn't the first person who came up with this idea of applying spackling to make it look better. The first person who did, wow. Because the panels on their own, if you just put them up and didn't grout anything, would not look nice at all. But like this looks so much better. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum.
Side by side we sway there in all the colors. Summer love.
Filling in the lines makes such a big difference, I swear. It goes from like looking weird to just looking perfect. And I will also go ahead and like change some of the shapes of some of the rocks so it looks even better, but like, this is so cool. Okay, so I decided to add a little bit of spackle on all of the top edges. It's still drying, but I just wanted to show you the difference between with the spackle at the top and without the spackle at the top. This looks more like wallpaper. This looks more like a proper stone wall. So I decided to do that. It's a little bit annoying. In hindsight, after I cut all the pieces, but before I attached them, I would have added a little bit of spackle on the edges, especially for the top and side edges, but live and learn, now you know. That was a lot of spackle I applied, but I am at a very weird angle. This was honestly one of the best decisions I think I ever did. I can't believe I was able to create essentially a custom kitchen in a rental. It's literally so good. So trust your gut.